Hello, everybody, and welcome back to an Anatomy of the Arts. I'm your host, Ethan Neville, and today I'm joined by Chap and Daisy Burnett, otherwise known as one of my favorite bands, Five Islands. How are you guys?
Awesome. How are you?
Good.
Oh, I'm amazing. Better to have you here with me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Now, with the show, I always start right from the beginning. We don't go through each year, so it's not going to take that long. But where did this all start for you guys? When did music come into your lives?
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
We come from a very musical family. My grandmother, my mom's mom, she was very musical. She had perfect pitch, and she also could read music. And if you can play by ear, you don't really need to learn how to read music. But she did that, and just really talented, really smart. And so that was on my mom's side. And then my dad's dad was more of a entertainer. He was a band leader. He had a jazz band, a Dixieland band, and he's still around. He's 92 this year, but not playing that much anymore. But he's a banjo player. He's a tenor banjo player. So when you think of banjo players, you think of the finger picking, but with a tenor banjo, it's 4 strings and it's more strumming. And he was one of the best. And he had a really cool musical career. He was on the Ed Sullivan Show. He had a nightclub here in Dallas, which is where we are, called The Levee, and ran that for a really long time. He had a recording studio here called Summit Burnett Sound Studios, and a lot of bands came through and recorded there. Rolling Stones, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimmy Vaughan, and it was also a place there used to be a big arena here called Reunion Arena, and it's where a lot of bands would go to rehearse before shows there. And so it was great for him because come rehearse, you get this good old Southern, Texas hospitality, and then they'll come back and do a session. And and then at the same time, he was doing, he ran a booking agency.
Right.
And so he did a lot. And so for me and for us, he was always a big influence on us on, just living a very musical life. And my dad plays guitar, and he taught me how to play when I was about 11. And then I started writing songs when I was 14. And so and then that was just kind of it for a long time. I was like, I'll be a wandering troubadour for the rest of my life. Like that's all I wanted to do. And I loved it. And we were in Nashville for about 5 years. I was in LA first, right out of college, just never been out to California. And then I didn't like LA that much, played gigs, and I worked in a recording studio, and that's what paid the bills, but barely. And then I realized that all the music that I was listening to, either past or present, was all coming out of Nashville. And so I was out there in LA for 18 months when I decided, let's go check Nashville out. And then I was out there for a couple years, and then Daisy moved out after she was done with college. And feel free to add to this if you want, but that's just kind of when we were like, we're both here. We're in Music City. We know how to sing with each other. We grew up jamming at our house, and dad on guitar, me on guitar, her singing, us harmonizing with each other. Let's see if we can go play some shows. And
it started like purely as something fun to do because we were both in Nashville together. We never really saw us maybe we thought about releasing EP or music or something like that, but it was kind of just we're both here. And his now wife kind of took over as our manager when we lived in Nashville, and
family business.
For real. And she booked us a couple shows, and then he had all these. I mean, we could probably do a full another EP. We probably will.
We probably should anyway.
But
I agree with that one.
Yeah, I know. We've got to get to it. That was the beginning of summer project that never got done, and now summer's
That's
over.
too hot out.
It's too hot out. We can't do that right now. But it kind of just started as fun, and then people really liked it, so we kept doing it.
And my wife would, she ran like our social media, and so we started with 0 followers, and she's just she's a marketing guru, and that's what she does for work. When we were in Nashville, for a job, I was working at a booking agency, booking bands and comedians and speakers for tours and private events. And then she was on the management side. And so she had this roster of clients, like to take you back, like 90s bands like Sugar Ray and Ezra Ray Hart, or Better Than Ezra, Tonic. And so she handled all their social media and their marketing. And so she applied that to us. And so, no followers, and then became a couple hundred followers. And then just kind of grew from there. And we started playing these writers' rooms, these songwriting rooms in Nashville, which were in abundance. And so we'd go and we'd test out new songs and figure out kind of where I hang back and Daisy does the singing and I do the harmonizing, or where she harmonizes with me. And we just figured it out. And we just started doing more and more stuff. And it was fun, like really fun. And for me and Daisy being out there, it's like we were doing Nashville like 100%. Just we're out here. We'll go to work during the day, but let's go. We were chasing the neon rainbow, as they say.
Yeah. And do you two remember that moment between you when you were doing music as Five Islands, when you were like, this is working and this is amazing? Do you remember that moment for you, or did it kind of happen over time?
I think and you might have a different answer, Daisy, but for me, I think it just happened over time. Again, like, us playing music together is really nothing new. It's something we grew up doing together. A lot of our family likes to get together and sing, and our parents would open the door, and we would do these jam sessions with family and friends and people who just knew a song on the guitar and wanted to play it in front of people. And so when we started playing together in Nashville, it was very familiar, but also it was just fun being up there playing in front of an audience. That was definitely new. And I just remember the three of us, my wife, Daisy, and I would go out to dinner or go grab drinks. And we're like, okay, that was a lot of fun.
It was always so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. Nervous when you get on stage, and then you get past the first song and people are clapping and saying some, just talking to us after a show. And we're like, this is fun. People seem to really enjoy it. And then we just kind of just kept on going and never really.
I feel like attention on social media too. We were kind of like, wow, people like our music. Like I've never been on Twitter in my whole life, but his wife made us a Twitter, and we had all these people like tweeting at us about releasing music and how much they liked our songs. And we had people sending like fan art. Chap bought a piece of fan art from someone and he's going to frame it. It was like this whole cartoon about the song Smoke, and it was so amazing. All these it was really
so
cool.
neat.
All these cool things. People started like covering our songs on Instagram, and I was like, Chap, people love your music. And we just it was definitely an overtime type thing, because I feel like when we started, it was so second nature. Like we didn't really think about it or anything like that. But yeah, it was kind of the attention on social media that we were like, oh,
like this is resonating with people. Yeah, this is cool.
And it's so fun that we were like, why not? We had so much time. It was literally just the three of us in Nashville.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun.
What songs were you playing in these little get-togethers? Was it the same kind of folk, rocky kind of music as you do now?
For sure.
Yeah.
Songwriters rooms where you just got a stage and you've got 4 stools up there, and it'd be me, Daisy, and then maybe a couple of friends or people we don't know. And it's just like, get on up there and y'all take turns playing songs. Those you can't really get away with playing covers. I mean, so we would usually be our original music. But when it came to like, private event shows where we're more, in the background, setting the mood and stuff, it's all very similar stuff. Our set list has grown over time. We haven't really taken any music out, but it's just stuff like trying to think some of examples. But to answer your question, yes, very folky, acoustic. Maybe taking some songs with like rock songs or something with big arrangements and saying, how can we just turn this into 2 vocals and a guitar? I'm trying to think of some examples of people that we like playing, like Willie Nelson, and it's also in Nashville, so it's like, okay, let's give the people what they want. Let's play some Willie Nelson. Let's play some Chris Christopherson.
Highwaymen.
The Highwaymen,
absolutely. The Highwaymen.
Absolutely. So that kind of stuff. But it's always been kind of in that acoustic folk rock genre.
And if it wasn't, we tried it. If there were songs that we loved that didn't really meet our genre, we kind of just would change it, alter it. And people ended up liking those covers too. So we kind of just stuck with our.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Does the location then affect what you play or how you play it, or how you guys came to be? Because here in England, no one, like folk artists like yourself, they're very scarce. It's very rock, Britpop, like Oasis, like especially now as well, like Arctic Monkeys, very heavy, grungy kind of music here. You would not find like the Bob Dylan, like Jesse Wells. Do you know Jesse Wells at the moment? He's kind of like this generation of Bob Dylan. Very political, very matter of fact, on the nose, songwriting. You'd never find that here. And I'm guessing that's the location. And that's why, I did this, is so I can speak to artists like yourself, because no one here knows, like none of my friends would know half the people that I listen to. So would the location, Nashville, Dallas, Texas, has that affected the songs that you play then?
I would say,
I think, yeah.
Well, I think what was cool about Nashville for us is that, when you think Nashville, you think country music.
Yeah.
You think honky tonks, you think barbecue, all that kind of stuff. It's so changed over the past, I don't even, let's see, 10, 15 years, where like people like, the pop, rock, hard rock, hip hop, all that stuff. There are venues for that now in Nashville, which is really cool. It didn't used to be that way. And like, you're seeing that across the board with like different types of food, and restaurateurs are like, we're going to Nashville because that's where everybody is. 100,000 people are moving there a day, and they're not all listening to country music. But for us, it was easy because we weren't playing anything that was new or controversial or anything like that. Like, people weren't seeing us as like, who are these guys playing? We don't listen to that here. So we got pretty lucky, but it just became a very eclectic place. Obviously kind of the folk and country still dominated that, but there was more of an audience for different types of music. So if we wanted to branch out and play something that was more modern or something that wasn't necessarily country, it's like
we could have found
we can turn this into Dallas, I think, the music scene here isn't Nashville, obviously. But, I think it's a big city just like Nashville. And I mean, it was weird. Like Nashville is one of those cities where there are more people who aren't from Nashville living there than there are people who do live in Nashville. It was very rare to see someone like, oh yeah, I'm born and raised here. I went to that high school. And, I grew up right there. And there was one person in our group of friends who was from Nashville. So I think that was an advantage. Still mostly country, mostly folk, and that's how Nashville will always be remembered. But for like Daisy and I, who were like in it, going to shows, meeting people, and me like in the booking business, looking for new bands and stuff, I thought it was so cool. Just like we're listening to music that 10 years ago, just booking agents wouldn't have taken their artists through Nashville. You go to Memphis or you go somewhere else, but now Nashville is like a must for rock and rollers and that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool.
Do you think that experience would have been different if you stayed in LA? Do you feel like you would have lasted as long as musicians if you stayed in LA rather than going to Nashville?
I don't think so.
LA is huge.
LA is a hard place to crack.
It's like the most saturated like market of music. Like it would have taken us like quitting our jobs and really leaning into our music. I think our music would have eventually done fine. I mean, there was people from some of our Spotify listens were from across the globe. So like I think we would have eventually been fine, but we would have had to put a lot like I think we would have had to go through a lot to get our names, even someone out there in LA, because it just is so saturated. But I think they're the big labels, and it's just hard to. Everyone's out there trying to make music, and same with Nashville. But again, like it's on a smaller scale.
A smaller scale, but I think it would have been tough. And for me, like I went out there and I played shows and all that stuff. And it was me solo. I didn't have Daisy there. And I think it would have been a lot more fun and a lot more, there would have been much more of a drive to say, let's see it through out here. Like if Daisy was out in LA with me, I think we would have stayed longer.
Totally.
I would have been like, let's give it a shot out here. I think, but it's just the way it worked is that I moved out to Nashville and Daisy's like, I think I want to come out there too. And LA would have been tough though.
I also think that Nashville's, I mean, I don't know how you felt when you lived alone in California, but Nashville is more warm. Like people are a lot more,
for sure, Southern hospitality, and
the scene is a little bit more kind than it is in LA. And I think maybe we would have struggled with people not loving our music as much as they did in Nashville. But yeah, I think you would have stayed longer if I was out there.
I think so. But yeah, there's the Southern hospitality, and it's also just, it's a community in Nashville of songwriters and musicians and, different, you've got engineers and all that kind of stuff, recording engineers. And it's just everybody, there's like this friendly camaraderie. There's this friendly rivalry, this friendly competition where everybody kind of, wants to see other people succeed. That's how it was in our case. It's just there was a true community of musicians like Daisy and I where we didn't feel like we were competing with each other. It's just like, let's just get out there. We all want to be heard.
I feel like our music was so different than everyone else's. It was kind of just like, when we would play Writers Round, people were like, wow, who are you guys?
Yeah, we kind of had a cool dynamic where we play together and we have good harmony together. And and then in LA though, I just from seeing it and all that kind of stuff. And for anybody who's listening who might be in LA, just this is not a rip on LA. It's just I don't know. There's just a
LA
more,
can be great.
It was a more cutthroat competition type deal where it's just like, no, I mean, like
it has to be all you want to do.
I've heard the same thing. I've heard that LA's like Nashville, like you were saying, obviously community. I've heard that LA is you're in or you're out, and there's it's not that people are going to hold your hand and help you. It's they're going to use and get above you any way they can, because that's our London really. But LA, I've heard, is tough.
It's tough, and it's every man for himself, and all that stuff. Like I when I was moving to Nashville, I called a songwriter. His name's Tom Douglas, and he's written a lot of stuff for Tim McGraw and other people. And I played with him at a show once, and so I had his contact info. And I go, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Nashville. You've made a career in Nashville, and he's like, hey man, just come on in. The water's full of sharks. And I was like, oh. Okay.
Can't wait.
I was like, I'm trying to.
Don't want to do that.
I'm trying to escape that here. But then you get out there, and I think what he meant was like, there's just a lot of people wanting to do the same thing. Like there are 100,000 people in Nashville, and 8 million of them are trying to make it in music. Like. I think that's kind of what it meant. There are a lot of people trying to do the same thing. How are you going to stand out? But I just never experienced that in Nashville. I thought it was very warm and welcoming. And
and I feel like when you go into it with the mindset of like, this is going to be so fun. Like we're going to do this at our pace. We're not like knocking down record label doors. Like, please take us on.
It's got to be organic.
It was like, it has to be like, you have to do it because you want to do it. So I feel like we were never really that worried about becoming huge in Nashville, so it was never scary. It was always just fun.
Yeah, it's like before we go on stage, it's like, just remember, at the end of the day, this is fun.
This is fun.
I get to play songs with my sister,
and if I mess up the lyrics, which I pretty much 100% of the time did,
nobody
knows them. So like, it doesn't really
whatever.
matter.
You move on to the next song, and then we'll go get a beer afterwards and laugh about it. Like it's all supposed to be fun, and come what may.
That's great. I mean, as a brother and sister band, is it harder for you to, I mean, Chap, it sounds like you wrote a lot of the songs. Was it harder for you to, all of the songs? Wow. Was it harder for you to be more vulnerable in your music, knowing that your sister's now going to be singing your words?
I've always wondered that too, so I'm glad that you asked that.
Not really. I was just more excited, like, this is kind of cool hearing someone else sing them.
Yeah.
Because like, when I moved to Nashville and my wife and I started dating, and I said I kind of want to focus more on a career. I like the music business. I like booking bands. It's just because I like my songs. I'm proud of them and stuff. But I never really thought about it that way. It never really popped in my head. I was more just like, this is so neat hearing this from like a different perspective. I feel like she's telling her own story, and I think that resonates with people. And I think that's the songwriter in me is I think I lean more towards a songwriter than as an entertainer, where I really enjoy hearing people like, hearing Daisy sing my songs versus me. Or, I mean, we've seen covers of some songs on Instagram and Smoke and on like songs like Smoke, like on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, where people are discovering our songs and hearing other people put their own spin on it, I think is the greatest. And, some of them are really soulful, and you're just like, okay, you're taking these lyrics and you're
like they mean something.
You're applying them to something that's going on in your life, or you find parallels in your life, which I never dreamed that, like when I was writing these songs. And so hearing Daisy sing them, it's like, this is special. This is cool. And one of the reasons why we just kind of just kept on going. And
there's definitely some songs of Chap's that I wouldn't dare touch, though. Like he thinks of himself more as a songwriter. I think that's insane because he's such a good performer. He's always the one who talks on stage. This podcast, you're like, oh, sometimes I do it with one band member. I'm like, no, he'll be there. But he does all the entertaining and performing for the most part. But there's some songs of his that I'm like, I can't imagine it coming from anyone else other than you. But I do love singing his songs. They are really good.
Oh, gonna make me tear up.
He's a great writer.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my questions, I'll say it after this one. Oh, I went black there for a second.
We got you.
We got you back.
One of my favorite lyrics, and I do want to talk about Smoke, because when I was messaging Daisy about coming on, I'm being serious. Smoke is one of my favorite songs of all time. Like,
thanks.
It's top 3. The lyrics are like, it is just so outstanding. Good. Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
One of my favorite lyrics in the song, and in fact, one of my favorite lyrics just in general throughout all the music, is words that never come, songs that are left unsung. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That really resonated with me, and it's kind of stuck with me. Do you kind of listen to yourself back and listen to the lyrics and everything else that you've written, and just be like, wow, how the fuck did I do that? like come on, like if I had a round of applause button, I'd be pressing it constantly now, because that lyric is insane.
We definitely do that as a family. We definitely listen to him and are like, when he brings us songs for the first time, like, I mean, there's so many of us in our family, but it's usually just my mom, dad, brother, sister, and then my brother's wives. But we're sitting there like jaws dropped. We're all crying. And Chap's like, all right, guys, relax. Like I'm not done with it yet. And so to us, it's like sometimes jarring how good his songwriting is and how little he thinks about it. But I don't think that you think about it like that.
I can see him.
And he hates listening to himself sing. Like he would never listen. He would never listen back to a song and be like, oh, let's listen to that one back. No, my mom always has our songs playing, and we're like, can you like not while we're here?
Yeah. Well, I don't think my voice is the best. Like playing back, I'm like, oh gosh, okay. Well, and it's another reason why I like Daisy singing, because she's got a beautiful voice, and that's just needs to be heard by people. But like lines like that, I do have some lines where I pat myself on the back. Like that's pretty good. Like my there's a song that I did when I was in Nashville called and it's my favorite line of that song is also the title of the song, which is "She's the Last Dream I'll Ever Chase Alone." And I'm just that's just how I think. Like I was writing that with my wife in mind, and now just when I celebrate anniversaries or her birthday or something like that. That's just kind of what I call her now. It's just to the last dream I ever chased alone, happy anniversary or something like that. But songs like that, I mean, I remember writing Smoke like it was yesterday. I remember where I was.
Where did you write Smoke?
Yeah, can you run us through that?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I was in LA and it was dark. It was nighttime, and I had this apartment. Like, this apartment you've probably seen in shows in movies, and it's always the place where like people are buying crack or people are like, it is not a good looking, like there's a show called
dodgiest apartment of all time.
It's a little dodgy. My parents, when they were visiting me, like they go, I went up to grab something and they were waiting in the car and they're like, we literally saw someone selling drugs. And I go, what? No, that's fine. I'm safe, guys. Don't worry about it. But that was my apartment. It was on Sunset and Western, and it was dark out, and there was a place I may or may not have. The dumpster was where people took their trash, and that was also where just tenants of the apartment would go have a smoke and just kind of get outside. And I'm just looking around, and I'm just, I'm solo. I'm by myself out in LA, and Townes Van Zandt, the musician who I have a great admiration for, he always said, it's like, when I'm alone, I'm not lonely. It's aloneness, not loneliness. And so that's kind of how I thought about my time in LA. But there are just times where you miss friends, you miss family, you make some friends out there. I made some friends, but there are times where it was just me there, and I went outside and I'm looking at a dumpster, and it's dark, and you hear the traffic outside. We were right by the 101, and there are these two people, a guy and a girl, who are out there with me. I'm like in the middle, and guys on one end, girls on another end. They're both smoking a cigarette, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm going downstairs, taking a break from what I assumed to be just writing songs. I had songs. I had all my recording equipment. I was recording songs, and so my gears were turning. I'm like, what's the story here? And so, like, are you guys a couple? Are y'all fighting? It's like, we both need to have a cigarette, but I'm not smoking it with you. I'm going to this side, you go to this side. Or are they total strangers? And so that was really where it started. And I went back upstairs and I started writing it. And I think I wrote the whole thing that night. And
just like that.
Just a story about two
Must
people
nice.
who are going out for a smoke and what could have been. And, again, like, words that never come, songs that are left unsung, just what could have been. And that's kind of the narrative that I created, where, two people who don't really know each other, but there could be something there, but it doesn't go any farther than that little outdoor area by the dumpster, just since that's kind of where it ends. But, you think about what could have been, and that's where it started. But that was the inspiration behind the song. And I basically just created these two different backstories. I gave the guy a lot of my own, like, he's going to, off to work with a shitty paycheck in a quiet town. And I took some liberties. LA is in no way a quiet town, but I was thinking about me. It's like, God, where's he going? What job does he have? Like, I think, like, what do these guys do in their day-to-day life? And, there's got to be something that brought these two together. And so I don't know. I kind of created this story for these guys, and this guy and this girl, and that's kind of where it started. That's kind of where it came from.
Wow. I mean, you've spoken about two different songs there. The one that you made for your wife, or the one that you now kind of correlate with your wife, and Smoke. Obviously the one that's resonating with your wife a lot is about her, and kind of, I'm guessing when you were writing it, was she in mind when you were writing that?
When I was writing Smoke?
The other one.
Oh, the other one?
About
Yes.
her.
Yeah.
Yes. This was back when we we've known each other forever. We're both from here, and we've always been good friends. But I recorded that song in, late like November or December, because I released the album itself in January. And that's like a couple months before we made it official and we started dating, and we were dating long distance. And so when I wrote that song, I 100% had her in mind.
Okay, so with that song, and how that is about her and about your feelings about her, and just her as a person, and then with Smoke, it's kind of this, I don't want to say fantasy, but you're kind of creating a story out of two real people, but it isn't. It might not be real. It might be real. Do you find it's easier to create a song where exactly who the person is, everything about them, or where you create a story for someone else?
Great question.
That's a good question. I think it's easier, like as a songwriter and as a storyteller, to kind of create something from scratch. I mean, for me, it always comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere genuine. I'm never a songwriter who like has this guitar, has a notepad, and is like, all right, let's just put something down, like as a writing exercise.
Make something up. Like
let's just make something up. And like, again, like Daisy said, it's like, we're not in a hurry to do anything. Yeah. I'm not, there's nobody breathing down my neck saying, hey, we need the new song. And so, Smoke, Just Another Traveler is another one where I wrote that one pretty quick. It's just because it came to me. It's just, I heard a story about something, and that was the inspiration I needed to kind of get stuff on paper. But I think it's easier, especially because if I'm thinking like I'm going into it writing a song about my wife, there's just a lot of pressure to not mess that up, because or writing a song for like my daughter or my son, it sounds like I should be right. Like, I feel like, am I a bad dad because I can write songs, but I'm not writing songs for them every day?
Like for me, you're not writing. I'm the only one in the family who doesn't have a song about herself.
Someday maybe.
We'll hold you to that.
Yeah. Next EP maybe, or next LP, we'll see. But
I'm sure.
Like I anything I usually write starts as just pure poetry, where I'm writing stuff down, and Smoke is just me by myself, feeling this aloneness, knowing that, and this is a job, I work the graveyard shift at this recording studio out there. And so I'm thinking about that, and I might be putting myself in this guy's shoes in that song quite a bit, because, a lot of that's not fictional. A lot of that's real. It's how I was feeling that night. And I feel
like Mom called you and was like, are you well?
And so it all comes from somewhere genuine, but it's and real. And but the story is not necessarily autobiographical, but I can't just sit down and I want the songs to resonate with people. And so it's got to come from somewhere genuine and real. And so that's why I can picture myself being in a writer's room saying, hey, you got to come out with 5 songs in however long. That's just not how I operate. It comes when it does. And I feel like that's when it, autobiographical or not, that's kind of where I hit my stride.
But even though it's not, whatever it is, having that, about being about these two people, it gives you that sense of freedom to kind of do what you want. Because I guess people that write songs about their life, and people find it really easy, but people that do, they must go through so much pressure to not be cocky, not be egotistical. I mean, some people probably find that quite easy to do that, but like, it must be such mounts of pressure to be talking about your life, to have your sister then sing that song and then be like, on to the next. Like, it doesn't work like that. So to have that kind of story in your head must have been some freedom to be, at least, even if you were to channel yourself through those people, it must have been some freedom. And I remember you making a little comment earlier, Chap, about how Daisy's voice needs to be heard more. And I agree, because Daisy's voice is outstanding. And I can't imagine any other person singing Smoke, or any other two people singing Smoke, because I know, Chap, your vocals were in there as well. But Daisy, with your voice, how do you know how to make it sound? Because you can go a lot of different ways with a song. Just like writing a song, you can make it go a lot of different ways. You can make it stop, you can make it. I'm not going to go through the ins and outs of what to do with your voice. You probably know, but how did you and Chap kind of consult on, you know, how you want the song to sound, or was it just you saw the lyrics and were like, this is what it's going to sound like?
I feel like I had heard you sing them so many times that I was like, and again, he's such a good songwriter, and I feel lyrics like very hard. My favorite part of like music is good. That's why Chap's music is so good, because the lyrics are so poetic. But I don't know. We never really talked about it. We never really ran through it. And Chap was like, I don't really like it like that. Maybe do it more soul. Like, we never really had to talk about it. I think the only song I never heard you sing too many times was Lonely, because you kind of wrote it, I feel like, to be like, you sing it however you feel like you want to sing it. And that one's a little bit more upbeat, but I feel like the slow and more soulful songs, it's the lyrics. They kind of speak for themselves. So it's more emotional singing than anything else, I feel like.
And like, I don't want to be a producer / kind of micromanager about, you know, hey, you should be going high here, or you should be going low here. It's like, dude, like, just Daisy's got a great voice. I just want to let her cook. It's just let's just try it out. And yeah, like Lonely is a good example of, like, I don't think I ever played that live by myself.
I don't think so.
And I was like, you were the kind of the person who, and we just kind of went through it and talked through it. And
he was like, hey, I wrote the song, this is how it goes. And then I think I kind of just sang it from there.
Crazy.
Because Daisy's got a great range. She has, when, like, in Smoke is a great example of when she sings low, it's soulful. You feel like you're in a dark nightclub, just with a small backing band behind
100%.
you, and there's cigarette smoke in the air. And then she hits these high notes in the chorus, and so there's this awesome range. And if I was to say, you know, any advice for her, you need to go low and you need to go high. Like, let's do both of those, because you need to showcase that. Like me, when I sing, I'm just kind of right there in the middle. You're not going to hear me hitting the high notes or anything like that. Like, you know, but maybe sometimes. But Daisy's got a range that really does the song justice that I really never could when I was singing them myself.
It's very nice. And Chap was never a micromanager. Like, we were never in the studio and he wasn't like, can we stop? I didn't really like the way that sounded. If I was like, oh, that was different that I just did, he's like, yeah, I liked it. Just if that's how you feel like it should be sung. Like, I feel like we were kind of just, let's just do them. Yeah, I'm not like Brian Wilson, where it's just go, you know, like just orchestrating everybody and you know, breaking up the band or anything. I'm just, you know, again, it was so second nature of us to be singing together. Yeah, and that's also another thing too, is that just, you know, there's no kind of get to know you phase when you're playing music together. You know, you're starting a new band or you're working with a new writing partner. That was a huge advantage too, where it's just kind of like we know how to work with each other and to bounce ideas off each other, and we also respected each other's styles. Daisy and I just knew what people should hear, and it was really my only thing is just like, we just, you know, the range needs to be front and center. Like, Daisy's voice needs to be front and center, especially for songs like Smoke, where there's just a story that's a good story to tell. Yeah.
Do you think music has grown you two closer together? Do you think that's because I'm sat here and you two are constantly complimenting each other? And if this was me and my sister, we would have been arguing 5 minutes into making one song.
I always told, so we have 2 other siblings. I have another older brother who's younger than Chap, and then we have a little sister. We are all very, very close. Like, our family is very tight knit. I definitely said, like, when we were living in Nashville, it's weird being in like quote unquote business with your brother because you like we argued like siblings, but it was also had to do with like the work that we were doing. So it was very strange. But then again, it's like we would argue and then 10 minutes later we're like, dude, should we just like go get a drink and then like it'll probably be fine. So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like
well, also like for me, it's when I was done with school. And again, like Daisy said, we're all very close. I was very close. My little brother's 2 years younger than me. We're 4 years apart. And my youngest sister and I are 8 years apart. We're all very close. And we always, there's always sibling bickering going on, always. But we always, it was always, a good, there's always respect and love. And we were always pals and we were always proud of each other. And, there was never any, oh, Chap's coming around the corner, just hide him from my friends.
Sometimes, maybe though.
Unless I wanted to embarrass you on purpose. Yes. But for the most part, there was a lot of, respect and all that kind of stuff growing up with friends and all that stuff. But it was really fun when Daisy moved to Nashville because we were always hanging out. And
that definitely made us closer. I feel like me moving to Nashville. We worked together every day. I mean, I was with you guys all the time.
All the time.
And I was single when I lived in Nashville. So I was just like, hey guys, what are we doing? Like tormenting my brother and his wife. I know.
Daisy's here again.
They wake up, I'm on the couch. I'm like, what are we doing today? It definitely made us closer though. I mean, I feel like, yeah, he moved from Nashville and I was like, I'm in the car behind you. Come back and help me pack up the house because I'm not staying here alone.
But yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time together, more than we would have in
Dallas,
in Dallas, because Dallas is kind of the home base with friends and just that we've had forever. Me and her have, our big group of friends, but, and my wife and I had our friends in Nashville that just kind of welcomed us in, and Daisy found a really great group of people too. And it just became one giant, large group. Yeah. And we hung out with her friends and she hang out with our friends and we'd all hang out together. Our house was kind of my wife and I's house was a place where the door was open and we just, any excuse to have parties and people over and me cooking food and stuff. And it was just, I look back on Nashville fondly for a lot of reasons, but Daisy and I, we're always close, but became a lot closer playing together and hanging together. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, I know time is not on our side, but you have hinted a little bit at new music. And I don't want to be that guy to kind of poke the bear a little bit, but
yeah, I'll let the songwriter speak.
Yeah, I think the audience, especially because a lot of these people will be Five Island fans, would like to know what's happening. I mean, it's been half a decade.
I know.
Has it really?
It's been 5 years.
Oh.
It's been half a decade. That was since COVID as well, which is crazy.
I know. I was not saying my dad's gonna hear this and be like, "He's right."
Yeah, Dad is always knocking. Hey,
he's always knocking.
Come on, let's get new music out there.
Dad. Come on.
Yeah. Dad knows what's up, and he's not wrong. I mean, a lot's changed in 5 years. I mean, I look back.
Kids running everywhere.
I look back fondly. I mean, like behind this computer, there's an empty bowl of yogurt and peanut butter toast and all this stuff. Like, yeah, we've made it. Try to make this look as
everything's just out of frame.
Yeah, seriously.
Like clothes are piling up on both sides.
Yeah, that's the same. I've got everything on my bed. I'm just.
There's like a dog chewing on toys on the couch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, teddy bear just destroyed. But a lot's changed, and it's been wild. But like, I feel like I have enough foundation under my legs to where, Daisy and I have played since we've been back in Dallas. We've done a few live shows, mostly like kind of private stuff where we're playing for weddings and charities and things like that, fundraising events, and we're playing on small stages and big stages, and it's been great. And to bring music back in, I mean, there's absolutely, I can't think of one bad thing about just saying, hey, we need to bring more music out, and then let's go play let's go play some shows to go promote it.
Yeah.
Let's get my wife back on board to just kind of revamp the social media just to get the word out.
And then we'll read your DM that you sent us like 2 years ago. Once we get back into that Instagram, once we figure out the password.
Hello, guys. Are we on the podcast? Hi, hello.
But I think we've got enough songs. Like because I still write songs. Like it's my favorite thing to do, and I love playing songs for my kids, and because they're very interested in music, and so I think we've got enough. We just got and you can't see it, but I've got a back house, and that's kind of what's going to become our studio. And so we've got a place to go. We got someone who can master all the stuff. I can record it. I can use Logic fine, but when it comes to mastering, we've got someone to do that. And it's so easy these days to just put new music out. To get it on Spotify, which is awesome.
It's just like getting us in the same place for a few hours.
Yeah, because it's just a lot.
Actually doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So,
but we will.
We
soon.
want to. It's something we're always talking about. And again, Dad's always knocking on the door, just saying, people are waiting. We're waiting. People are waiting.
People are waiting. How inconsiderate of you guys. It's been 5 years.
I can't believe it's been 5 years. That blows my mind.
I think remember how I said I never look at Twitter, but his wife was like, you guys got a tweet like not that long ago that was like, are you guys ever coming back? Or
if you look on the Instagram, are you guys following the Instagram page?
I maybe
they aren't happy. They are.
Oh yeah.
They're like everyone in the 2024 post. You're like, oh, we're back.
Oh my god, I forgot.
And they're like, you liars.
And then we never
in a year. People in the comments are like, so where are you then?
Yeah, I see nothing.
Just lying to us for no reason.
Yeah, people are definitely on our case. That's another thing that we're like, we didn't know people cared so much. So,
sorry, I think Alexa.
She's picking up.
Alexa cares.
Alexa's mad.
Alexa's not happy either.
I think we'll do it. I mean, I really would hope that it'd be like within.
We're not retired in any way, shape, or form. It's just
we have a full EP that we could record.
We can record it. We can record it tomorrow. It's just figuring out. Hey, let's just knock it out in a week, and let's just sit down and we'll do a song a day, and we won't leave until it's done, and let's make it fun. Let's have some good food. Let's maybe crack open a beer or something like that. And let's just not leave the room because it's a fun little room back there. Let's just not leave until it's done. And then we'll send it out and we'll edit it and we'll promote the shiz out of it and get it out there and then go play some shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds incredible.
The fun of it.
That sounds incredible. And another reason too is that now, much to my parents' total happiness, is that they now have all their kids back in town, and my dad and I play guitars together, and going back to what we were saying about growing up and playing music all together, and we're doing that a lot now. So we're able to kind of feed that hunger to play and perform with people, and so. Without that, I think there would be a much more intense desire to get out there and record it. But we're able to scratch that itch a little bit. But it's something. Trust me, it's something we're thinking about. And now that you remind us that it's been 5 years, dude, we need to get on it. ASAP.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, I think one thing that kind of plays into this all is that it has been 5 years. I won't say it again. But it has been 5 years. But on Spotify, you still have 10,000 monthly listeners. Like that's like 100,000.
That is actually crazy. We talk about the monthly listeners thing a lot. I'm like, who?
There's 120,000 people listening to a year. It's been 5 years, and they're obviously waiting. Your music is timeless, clearly, because it survived this long. Not many artists would survive 5 years. Unless their music was good, and that's why there's like the Beatles, their music still survives 70 years on because the music is good.
Well,
great.
much appreciated.
Let's but like your music is surviving, and
And
you
it's
should release more.
People
That's
want
it.
more.
and
The
you're
people want more.
you're kind to say that. Thanks for saying that. And it's cool, with Spotify, with like analytics and stuff like that, you can see where the music's coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's
so wild.
from places that Daisy and I have never been, and I mean, it's a special deal for us. It means a lot that that we're getting to chat with you about it from across the sea and all that kind of stuff. It's a really neat, special deal, and there's just no better motivator than to say, let's just knock it out. We've got the songs, we know how to play them. We play them at live shows.
We know that people want to hear them,
and
now.
people are interested in hearing more. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're on it. We promise. It's something that we talk about quite a bit. We just gotta figure it out, put it in the calendar.
Our texts
and
are
do
like,
it.
next week we're gonna, and that's from like last June.
She's also though just like, hey, when's the studio going to be ready? I go, if you come in here and help me do it, I will.
I'm like, oh no.
I'm like, this is not on me. This is a
No.
team effort.
And
This
it's so
is-
hot. He's like, the AC is so loud. We turn the AC off. It's, what is it, 90,
Yeah, it's hot.
80? It's like 86 degrees today. I can't sit out there with no AC for 5-6 songs.
I'm just saying, I think it could be like a fall session
Yes.
where it gets to the 60s and 70s down here in Texas, and we just have
Five Islands Fall Sessions.
Oh, there you go.
There we
That's the
go.
album name right there. Well, we'll workshop that. But yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're on it. We promise.
I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna post it every single day until this is happening. And I'm gonna constantly tag you, and I'm gonna be like, everyone go follow this is their private accounts.
Yeah.
This is where they are. So many follow requests. I have
That's totally
18,000 followers on TikTok. I'm gonna get every single one of them to
Oh,
come and follow you. To hound
That'll
you.
be the best motivator of all time.
Yeah.
18,000 people at your door.
Yeah, if all these people
A
are like,
mob.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man.
good with that. That's fair.
Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having
Thank you
us.
for having
No,
us.
thank you so much for coming on. One of my
Thanks for
favorite
doing the-
bands.
Doing
No,
research
Thank you.
to
It-
find
how can I not find you? You know, good music gravitates to me.
Hey, well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you to everyone listening, and I'll see you in the next one.